Hello everyone, this is Mr. Lawback. I hope you're having a terrific day. In this video, we are going to go over the leadership in Congress. Specifically, we will talk about party caucuses, what they are, what they do, congressional party leadership, and the role of committee chairmen. First, let's talk about party caucuses. A party caucus is a closed meeting of members of each political party in each chamber which deals with matters regarding party organization or some sort of party game planning or party business. This means that the Democrats in the House meet in caucus and the Republicans meet separately in caucus in each chamber. Occasionally, all the Democrats in the entire Congress will meet in a large caucus, as will the Republicans sometimes. Party caucuses meet just before Congress begins its session or term in January, and occasionally during the session. Party caucuses meet at the beginning of the congressional term to decide on party leadership, and committee membership is discussed and decided on. So that's when ranking members of Congress get assigned to their committee as well. Simply put, a caucus is a meeting of people. Here is a list of current caucuses in Congress, and these are just the ones that begin with the letter A. So needless to say, there are many, many of them. Caucuses often cross party lines in membership as well. And sometimes there will be members of the House and the Senate in the same caucus. Now we are going to talk about the presiding officers of Congress. Before we talk about each of these positions, here's a graphic organizer detailing congressional leadership. As you can see over here on the left is the Senate, that is considered the upper house. The president of the Senate is the vice president of the United States. And then you have the president pro tempore, who tends to be the senior ranking member of the majority party in the Senate. And then you have the Senate Majority Leader, the Senate Minority Leader, the Senate Minority Whip or Assistant Floor Leader, and the Senate Majority Assistant Floor Leader. And then you have 100 members of the Senate, of course. And from those 100 members, these leadership positions are filled, except for the President of the Senate, who is the Vice President of the United States. And over here on the House of Reps side, the House of Reps is referred to as the lower house. You have the Speaker of the House at the top, who is from the majority party, of course. Then you have the Majority Floor Leader. Then you have the House Majority Floor Leader. And then you have the House Minority Floor Leader. Then you have the House Majority Whip, also the House Majority Assistant Floor Leader. And then you have the House Minority Whip, or the House Minority Floor Leader. And then you have the 535 representatives elected according to population, of course. And from that 435 members, they choose these leadership positions. So just a quick look at congressional leadership on this chart. All of the leadership are elected members of Congress, and they gain their leadership positions by being chosen by their colleagues in Congress. Each one of the leadership positions in Congress are in the Constitution, but much of their role has been made up through rules and traditions over time. While they oppose each other, it is important for congressional leadership of the two parties and between the two chambers to work together in order for Congress to be effective. As we know, a congressional term lasts for 2 years. So when someone is appointed to one of the leadership positions, they hold it for the entire term with few exceptions. The Speaker of the House is the presiding officer of the House and the acknowledged leader of the majority party in the House. Although from one political party, the Speaker is expected to treat each party in the chamber fairly. At the beginning of each congressional term, the Speaker of the House swears in all its members. The Speaker's main duties revolve around presiding over and keeping order in the House. They preside over whole chamber meetings. They sit at the podium with the gavel. They choose who to call on during meetings to speak. They appoint members to committees, and they schedule bills for debate, and they refer bills to the proper committee when they are submitted. Additionally, the Speaker names members of all select and conference committees and signs all bills and resolutions passed by the House. The Speaker of the House is considered to be the second most powerful person in the federal government and is third in line in presidential succession behind the Vice President. Speaking of the Vice President, the President of the Senate is assigned by the Constitution to the Vice President of the United States. So this is the one leadership position where the members of Congress don't choose it from within. The framers hoped the Vice President, serving as the President of the Senate, would serve as a liaison between the executive branch and legislative branch. The President of the Senate has many of the same duties as the Speaker of the House, but cannot cast votes on legislation or guide legislation like the Speaker. In the daily business of the Senate, the President of the Senate does not have much power and can't even vote on legislation unless it is to break a tie. The President pro tempore is chosen by the majority party of the Senate and serves as the President of the Senate when the Vice President is unable to make it and is absent. In both the House and the Senate, there are majority and minority party floor leaders. Their jobs are pretty much the same in each chamber, although the majority leader is the most powerful person in the Senate. Remember, the President of the Senate doesn't have a lot of power. The majority leader in the House is behind the Speaker of the House in power and manage and schedule the legislative business for their chamber. Floor leaders can be thought of as a coach or a team captain. If you are a sponsor of a bill and you want your bill to make it out of your chamber, it is crucial to get the support of your political party's floor leader. And it really helps if you get the support of the opposing party's floor leader. Assistant floor leaders. Just like floor leaders, each chamber has majority and minority assistant floor leaders. They are often called whips. The term whip comes from the fox hunting expression referring to the member of the hunting team responsible for keeping the dogs from straying from the team during a chase. The assistant floor leaders are mainly responsible for counting heads and rounding up party membership for votes, and they occasionally stand in for the majority or minority leader in their absence. Assistant floor leaders, again called whips, can be thought of as the assistant coach to the floor leaders. We have already talked about the importance of committees in Congress. While they are not detailed in the Constitution, they are critical to the legislative process. Every committee has a committee chairman. Even if a person is a female, they are still referred to as the chairman by tradition. All the committee chairmen in each chamber are chosen by the majority party in that chamber. This happens in the majority party caucus at the beginning of the term. So all the committee chairmen for standing committees are from the majority party in each chamber. So if the Democrats have the majority in a chamber, then all committee chairpersons in that chamber are Democrats. Committee chairmen have a very powerful role. They schedule committee meetings, decide on bills to consider. They can also pigeonhole a bill or ignore it by putting it aside. They lead all discussions in the committee. They form subcommittees within the committee and assign bills to these subcommittees. They are basically the gatekeeper of the committee. Remember, all bills begin their legislative journey in a committee. And as a matter of fact, you might remember that most bills don't even make it out of committee. So some big takeaways. Congressional leadership is very important. They drive the legislative process in each chamber. It is important that congressional leadership between the two parties communicates with each other regularly and compromises in order to effectively do their job. Congressional leadership also regularly communicates with the President of the United States about congressional business. Congressional leadership also acts as the spokesperson for Congress, and we often see congressional leadership in the news, especially the Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader of the Senate. So I hope this video helps you better understand the role of party caucuses, congressional leadership, and the role of committee chairmen. Have a great rest of the day.